Clark Luthor went to Lois Queen's apartment in Metropolis. Lois asked him if he was able to do his research. Clark told her that Brainiac was actually the brain interactive construct and that he was built to save his world but instead help destroy it. Lois asked, so how do we stop it? Clark said he could use Brainiac's own weapon against him, he just had to find the other two relics to get it to work. Lois said, okay, how do we do that? Clark asked, we don't have to do anything, but I will find a way to find the relics on my own. Lois told Clark he didn't have to do this alone. He had people on his side now. Clark thanked her for her concern. He was just used to doing things alone. Lois told him he didn't have to be alone anymore. She knew it wasn't the same for him here as back on his own planet, but he can make a life here. Clark remembered the conversation he had with the bartender and how he needed to think about what he wanted his life to be like. It was nice having friends for once, and someone other than Tess who cared about him. He had to admit he even was starting to like Lois Queen. Clark brought up how worried for him she was back at the tokamak. Lois said he had everyone worried when he fell out. Clark responded he didn't wake up in everyone's arms, just hers. Lois asked, would you have preferred to wake up in Jack's arms? Clark responded he was perfectly fine with the arms he found himself in. Clark moved closer to Lois and they kissed. Then he told her he will keep her updated on the search for the relics. Clark met with Jonathan and Jack at the Kent's apartment in Metropolis. Martha greeted him warmly and asked him how did he feel knowing he was out of danger. Clark responded he wasn't out of danger just yet. He just found out that Malcolm Malone was really an alien artificial intelligence called the Brain Interactive Construct, or Brainiac. Jonathan said, what did he want with Clark? Clark answered it was due to an old beef with his biological father. Jack said, so what do we do now? Clark said we could use his weapon, but we still need 2 more relics to get it to work. Jack said after the kryptonite heist, he was sure Brainiac had moved the weapon. Jonathan asked where else could it be? Clark said the only other place Brainiac would trust would be his home. He had it locked up like Fort Knox with his security. Jack said, looks like we're going to make a home visit. Martha warned them to be careful. They still don't know what he did with those people that disappeared. Jonathan promised they would be careful. Jack said we need the layout of the home. Clark said he could draw one out. He was there once. Jack said 1 visit and you have the layout down? We really could have used someone like you in the Marines. Clark said, I don't know how well I would have done in the Marines. I'm not one to follow the rules. Jonathan and Jack laughed. Martha remarked he must have been a handful for his parents when he was a teenager. Clark said quietly, you have no idea. Clark said out loud he would find the other relics first because once they had the weapon, Brainiac will know what they were up to.